Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today is another episode of Stitching Sunday where I catch you up on all the things I'm working on, all the things I finished, and all the things I need to frog. Today's an exciting day because we have a finished object to share today. I finished my cable sweater scarf. Woo! I was on such a tight timeline for this, my own doing, because I've made so many mistakes this summer. If you've seen the previous episodes, you know all about it. But I got it done in 12 days. And yes, my hands were very sore and I was very tired of creating this project so many hours every single day, but I got it done and I am so thrilled with it. It's so beautiful. The cables are absolutely perfect. I think I showed you in the last video that I did this swatch of this little braided cable. So I ran the braided cable up each side of the sweater scarf, and then I put this lattice cable through the middle. My initial plan was to just do 3 of the lattice cables wide, not 4, because I love 3. 3 is just, it's such a nice number, and there's 3 things in the braid, right? But it just wasn't quite wide enough. I wanted this to be slightly wider than my other sweater scarves. So rather than adding more blank space, I added an extra repeat in those cables. And if you're like, what the heck is a sweater scarf, Courtney? I'll throw some pictures up of my other sweater scarves here. A sweater scarf is a very, very long piece of fabric that wraps around your body basically 3 times, and then it has sleeves like a sweater. So the body of it just takes a really long time. It's really simple because it's just rows back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, but it is really, really, really long. It's probably like close to 8 feet long, including the cuffs. It might be more than 8 feet. Don't quote me on that. The measurements will be in the pattern. So I have finished it, which means that it is now going to testers. If you are watching this on Sunday, August 17th, let's say 16th, somewhere around there. If you're watching it on Sunday, the tester application is still open. If you're watching it on Monday, the tester application is still open. If you're watching it on Tuesday, you're too late. But if you want to apply to test it, the link is in the description below. I'm actually pretty impressed with myself because, I mean, this braided cable is a 4-row repeat. Basically, there's only 2 rows of cables and then 2 rows of just plain stitching across in the other direction. So that one you get used to which direction it needs to cross pretty quickly. On the first repeat, it crosses this way, and on the second repeat, it crosses that way. And then the lattice cables are a 16-row repeat. They take a little bit longer to get used to, but you do get the hang of it pretty quickly. So like the first maybe 2 repeats, so the first 32 rows, I was like looking at the stitch pattern for these cables like every couple of stitches to make sure that I wasn't messing it up. And I did mess it up a couple of times because I was like, I've got this. I did not have this. So you get the hang of it pretty quickly, and then the rest of it was literally just like keep on trucking. Anyways, I was saying I'm proud of myself because there were a couple of times where I made mistakes, like where I crossed over when I should have crossed under or vice versa. But I caught myself on the next row, so I just frogged back and fixed it. There was one somewhere that I didn't frog back and fix because I didn't see it until like 6 rows later, and I was like, absolutely not. So that's the mistake that is hidden somewhere in here. I don't even know where the mistake is, but what I want to do is, you know, back in the day on Instagram when they first released the carousels and people would do like a panoramic photo that like oh, sorry. I have a magnetic screen on my door, and when the wind blows it hits my door. That's what that sound just was. So when Instagram released the carousel feature where you could put multiple photos in, people were taking like a panoramic photo and splicing it up perfectly so that when you scrolled between the photos, they all blended together so you could see the panoramic image. Like, I want to do that with this to show just how long it is with like a tape measure laying beside it, and have some kind of contest where it's like, if you can find my mistake, or like the first 3 people to find my mistake in the picture, tell me what slide it's on and like what quadrant it's in, you get the pattern for free or something. So look out for that on my Instagram sometime closer to the release of this sweater scarf in November, if you can remember by then. It does still use slightly less yarn than a whole sweater though, because it's kind of like open at the front and open at the bottom, and it's not really the full length of a sweater. It's done. For this sweater scarf, I started using one of those new metal interchangeable pink hooks that I got on Amazon, and it was like making my hand hurt way too much. So I restarted with my trusty dusty Furls Odyssey hooks. And I've spoken before about my major beef with the Furls Odyssey hooks, other than them being discontinued and me having to treat these like the most prized possessions that I've ever had, because if I break them, I cannot replace them. But the thing that I have the biggest problem with the Furls Odysseys is the inconsistency of their sizing and their shaping. So this one is a little bit more like tapered than some of their other ones where it goes like more straight down. And this was one that I bought as like an oopsie. I forget what they used to call them. They were like off ones that weren't quite right. And the reason this one wasn't quite right was because it came out as a 3mm, but it wasn't supposed to be a 3mm because that's not a size that Furls sells typically. But when I bring out my little sizing device for sizing crochet hooks and knitting needles, there is no world in which this is fitting through that 3mm hole. Like, this is way bigger than 3mm. 3.5, like, I could shove it in there, but it probably wouldn't go very far up. The 3.75, it goes in, but it does not go up as far as my stitches do. My stitches go pretty far up when I'm crocheting. This is a 4mm, not a 3mm hook. So I have to remember that when I put that in the pattern. 4mm hook. That's the hook that I used. I do love my Furls hooks. They have such a nice flow. They feel so good in my hand. They don't give me hand cramps. They don't cause me any nerve pain. But that's my beef. It's labeled a 3mm, but it's a 4. That is the hook that I used. I used 485 grams of the sparkle fingering. I think that's what it's called, sparkle fingering, from Bad Sheep Yarn in the color Garland. And again, the sparkles don't always come through on the camera like they do in person, but that base is absolutely beautiful. One of the things that I love about that base is that all of the skeins were slightly more than 100 grams. So while this weighs 485 grams, so I should only have like a tiny little bit of that 5th skein left, I was able to make 3 swatches and I still have this much left of my 5th skein. So that gives me a little bit of confidence in like telling my testers that they're safe to just order 5 skeins for this size, because I have lots left. I think I weighed one of them and it was like 109 grams. That's like 9% more yarn. Another reason to order yourself some Bad Sheep yarn. I'll put the link in below. Now, I know what a lot of people think when they see crochet cables. Crochet cables, scary. Not that scary. It's pretty simple. Everything is worked with 2 stitches at a time. So you're always crossing 2 stitches over or under 2 stitches beside it. You're never like crossing 4 or 8 or anything crazy like that. It is literally just 2 stitches. You either cross them in front or behind. The way that I'm going to make this as beginner friendly as possible, obviously crochet cables are not absolute beginner friendly, but the way I'll make this the most accessible is, one, I'm going to have row by row instructions, which are going to make my brain want to explode, but I know some people prefer them. It'll be challenging because there are 3 different sets of cables in one row. So I might do like instructions for these cables and be like, repeat row 2 of these cables, repeat row 6 of these cables, whatever. And because these are only a 4-row repeat and these are a 16, I don't want to have to write out the instructions for this like 4 times. 4 times 4 is 4. So I think that's likely what I'll do is I'll write out instructions for this cable and for these cables, and then you'll just know that like row 1 is row 1 for both of them. Row 2 is row 2, row 3 is row 3, row 4 is row 4. But then for row 5, you go back to row 1 for these little cables. And I intentionally picked a bigger cable in the middle that had like a same factor. There's the word, that had the same factor as these. So they're both multiples of 4, 1 times 4 and 4 times 4. So that way the rows are always going to line up. So I will have the row by row instructions. I will have a stitch chart, again, of both cables separately, showing the 4-row repeat of the one and the 16-row repeat of the other. And then I did not do this while I was doing them because I started doing it while I was doing them, and trying to show the whole row was just like way too much. So I'm going to do a video of each cable separately as well too. So I'll do a little video tutorial of how to make this cable, and then I'll do a bigger video tutorial of how to do this cable, and those will be in the pattern as well. I am planning on filming those tomorrow or the next day so that the testers will actually have access to those videos as well, to make sure that the testers are getting like as much information as the customers will when the pattern becomes available. So one more thing about the test for this, as I mentioned, the tester call closes on Monday, so get those applications in ASAP, and you will have 10 weeks to complete it. So the test notes aren't due until the last week of October, which is crazy to me that we're already into my birthday week, last week of October. Now that the sweater scarf is done, that means I go back to this one. It is time to frog this sweater again. Is this a third frog, second frog? I think it's a third frog. There go the magnets again. This is the first full frog though, where I have the entire thing done. Why am I frogging it, you ask? Because as much as I love this checkerboard, I'll find a way to make the checkerboard work, maybe with color work rather than texture like this. The texture combined with wanting to make it not only size inclusive, but look the same across all sizes, was going to make the pattern like 853 pages long, and it was going to make the instructions very difficult and confusing because some sizes would be finishing on a half repeat, some would be finishing on a whole repeat, and like, yeah, it was too much. So what I did was I wrote the pattern for doing it in chunky like blocks, stripes that go all the way across rather than only halfway across. My testers are almost done their versions of it now with the thick stripes. I did warn them that I changed the pattern on them though. They knew full well what they were getting themselves into. All the math remained the same, the fit remains the same, the triangle stitches remain the same, just the layout is different. I want to try and frog this and make it within a week. I think I can do it. It's DK weight, and this Woolies DK yarn from Lion Brand is like it's a thick DK. So it works up pretty quickly. The bulk of the stitches are single crochet though, so it is a pretty slow stitch for like making big progress, but we got to do what we got to do to catch back up because we're so far behind on the crocheting still. Last time I frogged the sweater, I can't remember exactly how much of the sweater there was. I have it in a video. I'll put a screenshot up here of how big the sweater was. I think it was like the whole body and like 3/4 of a sleeve. Now it's obviously a whole sweater. And last time I frogged it, it took me 31 minutes and 35 seconds and 63 milliseconds to frog, using my trusty Kato electric winder, which I also have linked in the description below. Obviously, it's going to take me longer than that today, so without further ado, I'm going to get to frogging. And you know what? While I frog that, let's wrap this girl up. She doesn't have arms though. This sweater scarf is not going to work for this mannequin because there's nothing to like boop boop hold it. You get it though, right? I just don't want her knops showing. Girl, cover yourself. Okay, let's get that timer going. Oh, I'm just gonna do this as a lap. That's really smart. Oh, you know what I wanted to do? I wanted to weigh this and compare how much yarn this used versus the chunky, not ounces, not pounds, not kilos, grams. Get the whole sweater in the bowl. 596 grams. Wow, that is real close to 600. I don't like ending on a number that's so close to what is technically in a ball. Anyways, 596 grams. Let me write that down. Triangle. What is this called? Checkerboard. Oops, just bought my mic. Sorry. Okay. Oh, right. We want to start the timer. Timer starting now at 3:16 p.m. Is it really 3:16 p.m.? Wow. Where did the days go? I could have sworn it was like 1 p.m. 20 minutes ago. So for frogging this, I'm going to use my electric winder to help me because it makes it so much faster. And then that way my yarn is like automatically in cakes that I can use really easily to crochet again. So here goes nothing. We put it through there, we put it through there, we put it through there, we put it through there. It feels like I want to say lacing up a sewing machine, but that's not what it's called. What is it called when you put the thread in the sewing machine? I don't know. I'm not a sewist. Anyways, let's frog. Oh no, it's just adding to my time from before. That's not what I wanted it to do. Oh well, we'll have to do math at the end because I don't know how to work technology. So the last time that I frogged this sweater, I basically just like frogged whole sections and kept the balls like big and with knots on them whenever I attached a new skein. I've decided I'm not going to do that this time. So anytime I come upon a knot, which is where I'm at right now, I'm going to take it off. I'm assuming that this is a full skein that I have frogged already. And we're, I don't know, like 7.5 minutes in. That's pretty good. If I got 6 skeins, 6 times 7, what's that? 42. That's a lot of frogging. It's about a minute of frogging per hour that goes into the crocheting probably. I don't know. Maybe I should time how long this takes me to crochet. I'm often asked how long it takes to crochet things and I'm like, I have no idea. No clue. Okay. This is only 80 grams. Okay, so it's not a full skein. 80 grams done. It's gonna take me more than 42 minutes then. We're almost done the sleeve though, so that's a thing. Makes you feel a little bit of progress. That's a big reason I started with the sleeves, because I think the body is going to be a little bit disheartening. This yarn is not super fun to frog, I'm not gonna lie. It gets the, you know, when you get those little bits that, you know what I'm talking about. Those little bits that just won't frog. That. It's like little hairs that get wrapped around it and stuff. Not my hairs. Hairs from the sheep. One sleeve. Done. Roughly 10 minutes of frogging time. So one sleeve, these 2 balls, 97 grams. Fascinating. I don't know why that was 2 little balls. This is the whole reason why I'm doing it, taking apart each knot so that I don't end up with like all these little bits in the final piece. Okay, sleeve number 2. Let's go. What have I done? Why are you like this? What did I do here? I'm just gonna cut this. F that. Did I make it worse? Did I not cut the whole yarn? There we go. Oh my god, thank god. The knot is gone. Somehow I have made this even worse. What did I cut? There we go. We got it. Okay, commence sleeve 2. I don't know what I would do if I didn't have this automatic winder. I can't imagine frogging this whole thing without this help. I would be crying. That's what would be happening. I would be crying. Hi, tree. Oh, you're trying to hug me? Thank you. Okay, here we go. Sleeve 2 begins. Another thing I forgot since the last time I frogged this, and I mean it makes sense, is that the beginning of winding, it goes like slower because it has less distance to wrap around the thing, but as the ball gets bigger, it's like pulling more yarn into it faster because it's still rotating at the same speed. I can't keep up with it towards the end of a skein. Like, it is so fast. I'm like getting sweaty, getting cardio in. Now, I should have mentioned this sooner. Oh, did I not just get in there? Whatever. That I don't condone yanking on yarn the way that you are seeing me do it in this video, especially natural fibers. It can cause the fibers to stretch and therefore can affect the amount of yarn that you're using while you're making whatever the next thing is. It's another reason I made sure to track how much yarn I used for this version of the sweater, because it should use the same amount of yarn to make the other version of this sweater, or very similar. And also I have a bunch of testers making this sweater that I will compare my yardage to their yardage, and we always round up on yardage numbers to make sure that we're getting accurate yardages in the patterns. So moral of the story is be gentle on your yarn when you're frogging it. Don't be out here doing what I'm doing. Do as I say, not as I do, okay? Okay. That's another skein of the second sleeve, or a skein of the second sleeve done. We're not quite done the second sleeve yet though, and we are approaching the 20-minute mark. I am feeling already very tired of doing this. But I have to do it, so here we are. I really hope that this video shows the progression of like how sweaty I'm getting doing this. It is spicy hot. And that's another sleeve done. Let's see how much that sleeve was. And we are at the 55 minutes, so 24 minutes total frogging 2 sleeves, 98 grams. So pretty consistent on my yarn usage per sleeve there. The first one I weighed in at 97 grams. That one was 98. And here I can see I have a yarn end in the second to last round of the body. That's so fun. Here goes nothing. We're starting on the body. 200 grams-ish down, 400-ish grams to go. Okay, this is actually really nice to frog because the sections are longer. The triangle sections are more challenging to frog than the single crochet sections. So it lets me like, because there's such a long string of single crochets, it lets me like catch up when I get to a single crochet section goes really fast and the triangle section goes really slow. Magnificent. This is how much is left. We're 3-ish skeins in. 2 sleeves and a skein of the body. So that's about the halfway mark, right? Was it 600 grams or 700? I forget. I'm not gonna weigh it now to find out. We are just past the 30-minute mark as well too. So my initial guesstimate of 42 minutes, not gonna happen. Absolutely, positively not going to happen. It's going to take me an hour or more. Here's where we're at. I just weighed it. The yarn from the body so far is 178 grams. So we're over halfway done the body, including the yoke. The yolk is a big chunk of it too. And I do have one more ball of this yarn, so technically I could just leave the last 100 grams not frogged. I don't want to do that though. I don't like wasting yarn. And I'd rather, whoa, that's too fast. I'd rather have like that whole unused skein to use to like make a hat or something than to like throw out a yoke. Because what am I going to do with a yoke? Literally nothing. There's nothing I can do with a yoke except throw it out. But let me tell you, I am ready for this to be over. Remember when I first started the body and I said that the stitches were pulling like really easily, they were flowing? That has not been the case. I turned the camera off for a while because I was getting really frustrated. The yarn was snagging like every 5 stitches in that one skein, and whew, it was not cute. Also, all the little yarn fibers are getting up in my nose and I've been sneezing. This is not a fun task. 10 out of 10, do not recommend. I am just imagining running away from this and all of my responsibilities to like some deserted island beach, but not deserted fully. I would want there to be margaritas and tacos, but no other people. A private island in Mexico with my own personal chef. But I'm a crochet designer, so I don't have that kind of disposable income. Oh, the fiber's up the nose, I swear. I'm not sick. I feel sick and sound sick right now, but I feel like pina coladas and getting caught in the rain. I feel like making love at midnight. Oh my god, this is endless. It's gonna be more than an hour. If you're wondering how and when I'll use the little bits, the little bobs, the little parts of balls, the answer is I'm not really sure. I will see how it works up in the pattern. If I'm at a spot where like, I know I have to fasten off soon anyways. Oh, I should probably keep frogging. If I'm at a spot where I know I have to fasten off soon, I'll grab one of those little balls. I'm really gonna try and not dip into that last skein. We'll see. We will see. This is way too fast. I'm not sure if I have like a partial skein somewhere that I didn't use. I must, unless I used like exactly 6 skeins. Uncertain. I'll have to look into my little bits and bobs bin, because that's where I would have thrown it. Can you see the timer on there? I think you can only see the seconds. Because I want you to guess how long this has taken me when I'm done. Make a guess now. How long do you think this is going to take me? And I'm not telling you, unless you can see the timer, I'm not telling you how long it's been as of right now. If you can see the timer, remember I started at the 31-minute mark on the timer. 31 minutes and 35 seconds. How long do you think it's going to take me? Think it's going to be more than an hour? Less? How much more than an hour? I have discovered that standing up is a lot more quick and effective way to frog. And I realize this is a very awkward angle for you, but it is much nicer for me. I'm back because I'm at the yoke. Why did you stop? Please keep going. Thank you. This thing has an automatic stop feature, so when the tension gets like too high, it stops so that like, I don't know, it doesn't set on fire or like stretch your fibers too much. But sometimes it just randomly stops. Only the only the yoke and the short rows left. York. Oh my gosh, I forgot how smart these short rows were. Okay, Short rows done. Now I just got the yoke left. Easy breezy. Beautiful cover girl. Cover girl, put the bass in your walk. Head to toe. Let your whole body talk. I don't know if those are the right lyrics. Don't quote me, Rue. Sounds right. Where is the end of this skein? Okay, don't make a knot, please. Thank you. Where is this? Where does this skein end? Do I just have like a mega skein? Like, what is happening here? Where do you end? Where do you end? I have reached the point where every time the yarn snags, it just sends a jolt of rage through my body. And it is snagging really often. I was worried about this as I went on because obviously for a circle yoke sweater, the yoke is worked first. So that means that while I'm making the body and while I'm making the sleeves, the yoke is doing this. And there is wool content in this yarn. So essentially those little fibers, when you do this with them, making it worse by demonstrating, they start to felt, they start to stick together, they start to grab on for dear life, which makes frogging it a nightmare. I mean, it's not that bad of a yarn to frog. It's like a 5 out of 10. It's not terrible. It's the size and scope of the project that is the real problem here. And there's the end of that skein. Why did you stop again? Oh, because there's a knot. Oh, whatever. I cannot be bothered at this point. I think this might be the final 100 grams. That might even be less than 100 grams. Uncertain. Okay, get your guesses in for how long you think this took me. It's longer than I thought it would, that's for sure. This is not my idea of fun. What's that? Is that a Disney movie? This isn't my idea of fun. Or is it the Swan Princess? I think it's the Swan Princess. Oh, keep frogging. This is maybe another reason it's taking me so long. So distractible. Filming myself frogging definitely made me frog it faster though. If I wasn't filming and like forcing myself to like race against the clock, this would have taken me days. I would have done like 20 grams and been like, well, that's enough for today. But here I am, 500 plus grams in. Right, standing up was easier. Stand up. Stop. We're tangled. Every time at the seam when it turns, tangled. There we go. Oh, bless. Why you stop? Don't stop. Now is not the time to stop. We're almost there. Oh shoot, that's too big of a pile. That's gonna get tangly. Don't get tangled, don't get tangled, don't get tangled, don't get tangled. Get the foot action in there, boom. I'm just, in doing this, trying to lay it out on the floor in a way that it won't get like super tangled, just kind of like snaking it around. Again, 10 out of 10 do not recommend this. This is these are not smart decisions that have been made by me. The smartest decision was recruiting that automatic winder though. I couldn't have done it without it. It's the real MVP of the day. Again, if you want that automatic winder, I have not only a link, the link is in the description below, but I have a code. I think it's Tinderbox 15 or Tinderbox 20. I'll put it up on the screen. And it gets you, whether it's 15 or 20% off of the Kato products. They do ball winders, And I-cord makers as well too, electric I-cord makers. I'm sure they do other stuff too. Those are just the two that I know of, like off the top of my head. I swear this yolk is growing. Why is it growing? Get smaller. It should start going like a lot faster because the rows are getting shorter too. I feel like I'm always this way with projects though, is the last like 5 to 10% of them just drag for me. Like no matter what the project is, I'm like, I just want this to be done so I could start the next thing. I should have been drinking water. My water's sitting right there. Like, please, this has grown since the last time I touched it. Why is it bigger? Like, I clearly know that it hasn't grown, but like, it's grown. Okay, it wasn't the last 100 grams because I'm seeing a yarn end here in the next row. This isn't my idea of fun. Yeah, it's the Swan Princess. Because I think their parents are trying to like set them up or something. I don't know. One of those toxic 90s princess movies. Oh, another one. I'm not even going to be able to fit these all in my bowl to weigh it. I can do the math. What was it before? 597, and I did 97 and 98 for the sleeves. 402. That was fast. Okay, officially the last one. Now it's shrinking. Now I can tell it's shrinking. It's small. Oh, so close. I can almost taste the victory. I have given myself rope burn on my fingers multiple times doing this. My fingers are looking like weirdly shiny because I've just shredded my fingerprints off of them today. While frogging this, I mean, I want to stay far enough ahead that if I catch a snag, the machine doesn't need to be stopped, but then I don't want a pile that's so big that it gets tangly. So I just like keep moving the pile around. I should have set up a second camera of just like the ramen on my floor throughout this whole process. It's bad. Okay, we've got maybe like 8 rows left at this point, maybe 10. And it's going pretty quickly now because there's less of the like stitch detailing. Those post stitches really get stuck. Oh, these fibers in my lungs. 5, 4, 3, 2. Keep going. Now is not the time. And 1. And you know what? If this gets stuck, we'll just cut it off. Yeah, I thought it might. Done. Time. What are your guesses? I don't know if you can see the time in the camera or not. 1:46:48, and I started at 31:35, so an hour and 15 minutes and 13 seconds. It's done. Now all I have to do is crochet that whole sweater again. Okay, let's weigh how much yarn was in the body. It's a lot. There's a lot of balls here. Inside of my brain lives a 12-year-old boy. What did I say that I thought it would be? A 402? 355? Let's just stack that right on top. 393? Am I missing something? Weird. This is probably just not the most effective way to measure all this yarn. Now it says 590. That little piece at the end was not 10 grams or 7 grams. Oh well, it's done. Okay, that is going to be it for the Stitching Sunday video for today. Yes. Today's Stitching Sunday code Sunday25 will get you 25% off the Finley cardigan pattern on my website and Ravelry. That is linked down below. The Finley cardigan is 25% off, probably just for the next week. I'm not sure, but I would like to post another Stitching Sunday video next Sunday because this sweater should be done. I'm going to try and finish it. Today is Saturday. I'm going to try and finish it by the end of day Thursday because my parents are coming to visit from BC for the weekend for a family reunion, as long as the Air Canada strike is over by then. Anyways, I want to try and finish it by Thursday. So that gives me Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. 5 days. Can I crochet this whole sweater in 5 days? Come back next Sunday to find out. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and come on back for more Stitching Sunday videos. They'll probably be called something different by next week. And for more educational crochet content and some free patterns coming very soon. Bye-bye. Happy crocheting.